it's all one. Some spiritual philosophers say the Supreme and the living entities absolutely different. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared almost exactly 500 years ago on March 26, 1986, it will be the 500th appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, incarnation of Krishna, who appeared to bring this Krishna consciousness movement to the whole world. So we are going to celebrate that in a very big way in India, in Bengal, at the appearance place of the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya, he brought this philosophy of synthesis, the eternal philosophy of the Veda, which is that the living entity is simultaneously one with and different with the Supreme. This oneness and difference is the eternal nature of the soul. The Supreme is eternal. We are also eternal. The Supreme is full of knowledge. We are also full of knowledge. But we don't have all knowledge. We only have a small quantity of it. But by nature, we are full of knowledge. No ignorance is there. And the Supreme is full of all bliss. We may also be full of bliss, but to our own limited degree. And the living entity, because he has emanated from the Supreme, is eternally the servant of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all of our names end with Das or Dasi. The boys, their name ends with Das. That means servant of Krishna. And the girls, their name ends with Dasi. That means servant of Krishna. So, whether you are Das or Dasi, or you think you're not, the fact is that we are all eternal servants of the Lord. It's only that some people know it and some people don't. Those people who know it engage themselves in the service of the Supreme. Those people who don't engage themselves in the service of this material world, and especially the body which we are very much attached to. So the spiritual atmosphere is available for one who knows the truth of the spiritual nature of the living entity. One who knows the spiritual nature of the living entity in relationship to the Supreme never has to take birth again in this miserable material existence, but can attain the eternal abode of the Supreme Lord, the spiritual world. It's called Vaikuntha, a place wherein there is no anxiety. Now someone may say, I don't think that this material world is a very miserable place. I think it's very nice. But actually, this material existence has many problems. There's one problem in this material world. That is, that everybody has to take birth. Birth, although it's very nice for the relatives, is not very nice for the one taking birth. The one taking birth is all packed up tight inside the womb of the mother, arms and legs jammed in, not very comfortable, and he is suffering in all kinds of ways, very happy to get out of the womb. Then, as we grow older, the opposite misery comes. Old age is there. The organs of the body, they don't work so well anymore. Digestion is reducing. The teeth, even sometimes they fall out. We don't walk so well. The rheumatism, arthritis comes. So many problems are there. Old age is a problem. And everybody will face that problem. Sometimes the young people think that old people are simply another species of life. That we have nothing to do with old people. We'll never become old like that. But no, that is illusion. Even you, nice young girl, nice young boy, you'll become old and suffer those miseries too. In between time, everybody suffers disease. Although nowadays there are so many hospitals, so many research institutions for making very good medical practice, still disease is running rampant throughout the whole society. Therefore, in the apotheken, there are millions of medicines you can buy, because there are millions of diseases you can get. And what to speak nowadays of various epidemic diseases which come due to modern lifestyle. What to speak of the AIDS or herpes, or what to speak of heart disease or cancer of various forms. Disease is everywhere, and we all have to suffer it at one point or another. So, birth, old age, disease, and the most troublesome of all, death. Everybody faces death at one point or another in their lives. Therefore, we have to make some kind of a solution to these very basic problems of life. A solution to the problems of life cannot be made with material means. By material means, we cannot solve the problems of birth, death, old age, and disease, because it is an absolute principle of the material world. And with material means, you can't solve that. One can solve this material problem with a spiritual means. And that spiritual means is chanting of the holy name of God. We don't mind whatever holy name of the Lord one may have to chant. He should chant it. We are chanting the name of Krishna. Krishna is the original name for the Supreme. Krishna, the name for the Lord, is from the Sanskrit. This culture, Krishna consciousness, has been in existence since time immemorial. There are histories which go back thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years throughout the universe. It is not that only on this earth planet there are living beings. Everywhere, on different places throughout this vast universe, there are living entities. And there is the culture of Krishna consciousness. It is, after all, the eternal relationship of the living entity with the with the Supreme Lord. This relationship is not dependent on any particular place, on any particular community, on any particular nation, or even on your inclination or your faith. It is an eternal principle. There is the Supreme Lord, and there is the living entity, and they are related as servant and master. Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is just meant to, again, connect the living entity with the Supreme Lord in loving devotional service. That is the purpose of this movement. Therefore, we are trying to bring this Krishna conscious philosophy to everybody. Take the chanting of the holy name. Take prasadam, that is spiritual food, which we have offered to Krishna. We have offered to the Lord. And today, you are in for a treat. Everything we have cooked, without exception, has been grown right here on this land, organically, or almost organically. And we are giving this for you, for your pleasure. And this food being spiritualized in offering to Krishna, because everything belongs to him. Nothing belongs to us. Nirmama, this is a basic Vedic principle. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. Simply, we have been given a quota to use during this lifetime. And therefore, we must again offer that to the Supreme. And that will make the human form perfect. When we offer food to Krishna, that is the perfection of our endeavor to get it. By his pleasure, he accepts it, and that becomes spiritualized. And that food becomes freed from all reactions. There are so many reactions. This is known as karma. Karma means action and reaction. Every action brings a reaction. Everything we do brings a reaction. That is even a physical law. In Newtonian physics, the law is, for every action, there is an equal, an opposite reaction. That principle is working also in a more subtle way. Everything you do has a reaction, but it may not come immediately. Nowadays, even the quantum physicists, they are saying this is true. Everything that is done anywhere in the creation will affect something somewhere in the creation, even if it's on the other side of the universe. Well, that's quantum physics. That's not Vedic philosophy. But at least it agrees with this very important principle that everything you do has a reaction, and your own personal stock of reaction is called your karma. By your karma, you may become great. By your karma, you may become degraded. It is simply a question of how you have acted in your previous lifetimes. Perhaps in previous lifetimes you have acted in a very pious fashion. Therefore, in this lifetime, you are reaping the results of that action. Maybe one has a lot of wealth. Maybe one has a lot of position. Maybe one is very famous or quite satisfied. This is his good karma. Maybe one is suffering. So many money problems, so much anxiety, bad health, bad position, socially troubled. This is his bad karma. Maybe somewhere in between. This is a mixture. But everything that happens, good or bad, is a product of our karma. So, what you do now, you have free will. You may do what you like, but that will affect you in the future. At the present time, we are performing activities, but in the future, we will enjoy or suffer the results of those activities. Therefore, one must be very careful how he acts in this lifetime. There is a statement in the Bhagavatam, Kamana Daivana Trena, Janto Deho Opapataye. As you are acting presently, you are creating your next body. Our present actions are creating our future bodies. This body is the product of our previous activities. It is not an accident that we are born into this particular body. And neither is it because of our choice. Nobody can say, I have chosen to take birth in this body. After all, if you had your choice to make various repairs on your body, would you accept it just as it is? Everybody would make some adjustment. Maybe the nose is too big, or maybe something's crooked somewhere, or you want to be a little skinnier, or you want more muscles, or maybe the hair should be a different color, or maybe the eyes should be a little better, or the teeth shouldn't fall out or get holes. We would make adjustments. Nobody would just accept this body. Here, you can have this body with all these defects. No. We have not chosen this body. It's been given to us by the law of nature. The law of karma, the law of nature, this is the same. It is a higher energy which forces us to take birth in a particular country, to a particular parents, in a particular body, with a particular destination. And when we understand that and begin to act now, presently, in this lifetime, in a proper fashion, that means with spiritual understanding, with the understanding to develop our spiritual consciousness, then we will be able to prepare the best future. And presently our consciousness will become purified. And when the consciousness is fully purified, we may transfer ourselves to the spiritual world to eternally serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our eternal position. So please, take up spiritual life, spiritual consciousness. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And make the best solution to this bad bargain, this material body. Make the best use of this bad bargain and develop spiritual consciousness and be happy. Come and visit us as often as you want. At least come on Sunday and come for a Sunday feast and take this nice food which we have offered to Krishna and we are offering to you. Take home Krishna conscious books which have been written by our spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder and acharya of this movement. Read these books, study them, and make your life successful. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.